looked a little gappy there, so I'm going to double check the coordinates here. 197 on that one. About right. And that's 3 on that one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just a trick of the eye there. Because that one doesn't have a gap, but this one does. Isn't that weird? So we'll just kind of take it in like that. That'll be alright. Like this. This doesn't look. That should be 15. See, that one says 15, but it doesn't look square like the other ones. I don't know. That's kind of weird. We'll ignore it. Well, it's a custom house, or that's the plan. As far as the bunker house, I haven't decided if I'm going to actually use it in this particular build or not. The only reason I went ahead and installed it is because it's the only home version that doesn't come with a lot of clutter. If I left it the standard no house built, it would have all that junk and clutter, and I'd have to cover up more stuff than I really wanted to. And this is, you know, if I decide I don't want it, I can just cover it with the flooring and just not have any access to it. If I do want it, then I can leave the flooring empty in that particular spot. Or I think the idea for me on this particular one, I think in the end the idea is I'm going to put the house on stilts. So maybe there'll be some kind of access to it that way. I don't know. But yeah, the idea is just a custom built home kind of thing. So let's see here. I'm just gonna start kind of filling in some of the room divisions a little bit. Probably not going to be exact, but again, it's just kind of an outline for me to kind of better get an idea of what I'm doing here. Because clearly I have no idea, but I feel like I will do better if I have some kind of a layout. And this is the easiest way I can think of to do that. Let's see. Clicking on the thingy. Because again, I basically was going by the concept that each little division here, little strip, is equivalent to like a doorway. So if, you know, it's going to be, it's probably going to feel compact to a lot of people because I'm keeping it kind of condensed. I'm not building like a giant castle kind of thing. So there's not going to be a lot of I don't know, maybe it's my version of like a mobile home kind of thing. It's just very compact and personal and hopefully nice, I guess. Let's see. I'll describe better about what these rooms represent as soon as I get this kind of laid out a little bit better. And these turned ones represent either windows or doors, that kind of thing. It's not a solid wall there. If that kind of makes any sense. I guess I should. Something like looking. I may change that a little. Yeah, I think maybe to here. This is like going to be where the entrance is. It's like a double door kind of in. And then okay. This is what happens when you don't have like a solid plan. You're just kind of making it up as you go. Probably a good reason why I'm not on my husband's block, because I'd probably be like, here, we're gonna put like a little pretty little cabin on your house, and he's gonna be like, what, that's girly. Oops, I'm gonna do that. Keep clicking on the wrong thing accidentally. Okay, did I run out of wood again? I got a few. Out here. Anyway, I figured this will probably keep me entertained for quite a while until the first of next month, and that's when the next custom built decor challenge starts up. So I'll have that to contend with. I haven't even given it any thought. I've been hoping that a guildmate will go ahead and suggest a new theme for the next month, but so far none have taken to doing that, so we'll see. If they don't, I guess I'll have to come up with something and then. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of us go. We kind of have a general idea. I mean, I can picture some things in my head about how I want it to look, but whether or not I actually can pull it off and have the things work the way I want them to is another thing entirely. And like I said, I know this is supposed to be the front door, but you know, whether or not that actually works like I'm thinking is a whole other story. You know, I may have the size, I think I have the size right, and then I'll find out, well, that just doesn't fit right, or it feels too crowded, or who knows what. So, that was, keep clicking the wrong button. I'm just checking, kind of double checking as far as coordinates go. Let's just bring that up to 5. No. What number moved? Oh, that was, okay. Okay, so that's a good one. And let's see. What kind of things are you having on your moon base? Is it like a place where people would like come for repairs or something? Or is it like a laboratory? Let's see, did I already copy that? Oh, remember. I feel like such a scatterbrain when I'm working on these things because I get sidetracked so easy. Well, as long as you kind of have, that gives you a chance to kind of pick up the, if you're wanting a laboratory, then you're going to be wanting like bubbly tubes and canisters and stuff to kind of fit that theme. Like if you're going to make a jungle, you want a lot of decor that's got, viney, mossy looking stuff. What I worry about though when I decide on a theme is if I've picked one that's going to cost me an arm and a leg, because like a fellow builder, he wanted a lot of those massive umbrella trees because he was going to make his lot look like a hill kind of thing, and those things aren't cheap. I think they've gone up. Last I looked, it was like either double or triple what they were going for. And that's just nuts. So yeah, that's, don't know what I'm picturing these. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Quit clicking on the big one. Probably what I get for putting that on there anyway. I'm afraid if I don't have the floor under there, it's gonna be where I can't see it. And I'll be fussing about it because it's not quite. Yeah, for me, I've had a few people ask me how much I spend on my plots, and I honestly tell them I have no clue. I don't keep track of it. I'm afraid to, I think, because I would probably freak out at the amount of money I throw at my housing stuff. Because it's not just decor that I might get a hold of that way, but also how many times I've changed the music or the landscape or, put in one of these aren't cheap, you know, and if I decide to switch it back to something else and then I want it back to the bunker house, then I have to pop up another 3-ply, you know. I prefer not to know, so I don't keep track. The only time I do keep track of anything is when I'm working on a project for the custom built decor challenge. I keep track of the materials, not necessarily how much they cost, just how many of each item I use. It's kind of a weird little trivia thing, and that's about as far as I go as far as tracking. But I'm sure it's many plat that I have sunk into housing, and I figure that's kind of Carbine's whole plan behind it. Kind of use it as um, a means to kind of like a gold sink kind of thing. Not only gold, but time as well. Yeah, I just think it's better off if I don't know how much I put into it. I would probably cry and think about, oh, what all the nice little goodies I could have because of it. Let's see, I want to line this wall here. Again, I'm not sure if this is going to line up like I'm wanting, but we're going to try it. Let's extend this a little bit more. Like so. Let's see. So that one's lines up with that. So Well, I've mentioned before, that's one of the reasons why I've got this platform underneath all this wood, because I've been known to like put a bunch of stuff out in a pile, and I'll be just placing away, and then I'll get sidetracked on something else and I'll forget, especially if it's like a plate or something that's really small, and if I'm at a distance it doesn't show up. I've found things like that just kind of out there, and it's just, I don't know, it's like having a lost and found. You lost a plate and then you're walking around the house and all of a sudden you see it sticking out of the floor somewhere. It's like, where'd that come from? Let's see. I'm really trying to have it ignore what this is, because that's not really part of this scene here. Let's see. Copy this one. Trying to ignore that that's even there. I'm waiting for me to accidentally click it and go downstairs anyway. Let's see. Need some more wood. Well, now that they've had all these wood deck and stuff, it's hard to get to the debuff board, because used to you type in wood and there's like only a handful of things. One of the things I dread about like going through the housing vendor and stuff, they got all of that hoverboard park stuff. Like the have to scroll through it all just to see what you might want. Let's see. Copy this one. Want that kind of in the middle, but it's going over here. Again, a lot of this will probably make sense as it starts to become three-dimensional or whatever. Yeah, that's certainly a dilemma, Samson, especially with newer builders. They'll look at someone like me that might have a nice collection of cash on hand, and so I can kind of freely buy what I want when I want. And that comes with a lot of time. I do a lot of, well, I did all the questing there was, and I kind of semi-religiously did do dailies like in the Crimson Badlands and stuff pretty regular. I don't do those anymore. Mostly I just kind of do contracts from time to time. So my little collection of money is something that's grown over many months. And I think that in the beginning, when a new person gets their first access to housing, they're kind of disappointed at all the high costs, but eventually that kind of comes, especially as they level up. Because like my husband, I think he's like 17, 18 on the level. And so he's had access to housing for a little bit. But in the beginning, he was like, wow, it costs, this much. I don't even have that much to, repair my gear or something. And of course, he's been doing a lot of the crafting, which also costs because, he's having to buy all of the additives and stuff as he goes. And of course, he gets a little impatient because he doesn't have, like, say, enough wood or enough this or that. So he'll just buy it off the auction house just so he can go ahead and craft so he can get his next little tier of stuff. And I told him, well, part of that is, that's why you don't have the money for the different skies and stuff that you want, is because, you're spending some of it. I said, and the stuff that comes with like renown or reputation, those, you get over time. Eventually, it'll come. And it's nice that you have those goals to work towards. But yeah, I've often told people, housing is not like an overnight sensation kind of thing. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you're in it for the long haul if you're in it at all. The only way you can get something kind of instantaneous is if you hire somebody to do it for you, and they have everything that you need, and from there it goes on. But nope, it's one of those things you just kind of, it's like a long-term hobby, and I've said it many times, a house is really truly never done. I mean, you can kind of leave it alone for a while, but when new decor comes out, you think, hey, that would look cool instead of that, then it's like an ugly cycle. It just keeps going, where you get bored with it and you decide to tear anything new. So yeah, it's a labor of love. Okay, so I need this repeated over here, but that's not going to work right. So let me change this. I'm gonna leave that, and then we're going to let's see. Just checking the position here. I promise it'll make sense later, maybe, what I'm doing, but then again, it may only make sense to me. Got some guildies finally waking up. Let's see, I probably should have left that there and moved this one. Yeah. Okay, so let's check that again, kind of in the middle. Okay, will that be wide enough? Probably too wide. So let's bring it there. That look even Steven. Kind of the same, right? I'll leave it like that. So I need to do the same thing on the other side. I always hit the wrong button. Yeah, that's how I was. In the beginning, it was like you buy one little feature and whoops, and you're broke, and then you gotta wait till the next little batch of stuff comes. But like I've listened to some of my guildmates talk about, you know, when someone comes in new and they're asking, well, how do you make all your money and stuff? And for me, when I first started playing, I sold everything. I didn't salvage anything. Because the few things that I'd salvage, it was like I just got a lot of junk. So I kind of got out of the habit of that. I've since changed that. Now I have plenty of money, so I just salvage everything. And sometimes I make money off of what I salvage, and most of the time I don't. It just collects dust in my base skill bags. But in the beginning, when I was first leveling and stuff, everything I come across that I didn't actually use, I sold it all. And that was how I made my first bits of gold. And I think the first thing, aside from building the house right away, was getting my mount. Because I think you get access to the house, or you got access to the house like at 14. And then I think at 15 is when you can buy your first like little fancy mount. And so I bought those first two things, and I was like, you know, living on the high hog because I had raised enough gold for that. And really now it's like a spit in the can compared, but back then it was like, how do people make the plat? But and even now I don't know how some claim they can make like 30 plat in a day, or you know, in a matter of hours, and I have no idea how they do that. It just kind of boggles my mind. I don't know if they just get lucky on the things that they choose to sell, or what. You know, I imagine when new items come out and they happen to be one of the lucky ones that gets it to drop for them, I imagine that's one way of doing it, to kind of come into the riches right away, because there's bound to be someone that wants that item straight away. And if they're lucky enough get it and they don't want it themselves. The problem is when I get something new like that, I want it, so I don't sell it, and so I don't get lucky enough to get multiples, and probably if I did, I'd want to keep them for myself anyways. I don't know. I guess some people are just, you know, able to reap the benefits off of that kind of thing, and for someone like me, it's like, man, I can't part with it. Okay, so where was I? Let's see. I think we're kind of losing track here of what we want to do. I think these are too big. We're gonna move that away. Let's see, do I want it there or there? No, this. Oh, why does that not do that right? Again, this is kind of just fly by the seat of my pants here. I'm still deciding on what exactly I want to do here. Because I know what kind of rooms I want available, so I'm having to kind of rearrange things so that it accommodates what I'm kind of wanting to put in. If that makes sense. Let's see, move that back. Does that look right? That doesn't look right. This is the door. Oh, do that. I think it's this that's bothering me. I'm not quite. Oh, will you quit fiddling with that? Let's see. Change this a little. We'll just smooth this out. And same with this one. No, that doesn't look right either, does it? Maybe I didn't make this long enough. Maybe that's what it is. So let's put that back. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, I think I need to extend this out. I'm going to just put this over here for now. I figure out what I want to do on this end. I like how this is, but I want more room here, so. Let's, I think I'll extend this by one more bridge over. Like so. And then what I'll do is I'll link these together. And hopefully, if I'm going to move it, it won't wig out and move nicely. Okay, fingers crossed this doesn't go wonky. Oh, forgot one. Like so. And then change this. Like so. Let's do this. And this one. Okay, so let me get these lined up better. 861. And 1059. And then we'll copy, paste, and finish up that corner. Let's see. $483. Just getting these kind of squared up a little. Clearly my eyeballing is kind of sloppy. Even that. Is that right? Oh, okay. Maybe I typed in the wrong number. That could be it. I'm very bad about that. For sure. Three, 43, and 3. That doesn't look lined up quite right. Okay. Now, back to what I was trying to work out here. Let me move that. Okay, something like so, and then I want that repeated over here. So we'll copy paste again. Always lots of copy paste, copy paste. Had a fellow builder talking with me just a little while ago, talking about how they're kind of working on the last final details of their plot. And it's one of those, it's really, it's a lovely place. In fact, I'm going to try and showcase it on Wednesday. But it's one of those types of builds where it's very organic, and it's not like they went into it with a plan. They kind of had a general theme of what they wanted, but they just kind of let it come to life on its own. They just got decor and started playing around with placement and, you know, that kind of thing. And they've been, I guess, debating on what kind of plot theme they may be working on next. And talking about the pains of going with one where it's more architectural. Like this one, it's a lot more precisions involved, and how much of a pain that was. And I can certainly sympathize with that, because when you go to line these up and then it comes out where you go all the way around, and it's like working on a puzzle, and you come to the end and it's like there's a piece missing. You know, like, oh no, what did I do wrong? And you have to go through each individual item just to kind of sort it out a little bit better. And it's just frustrating. Okay, let's see if my panel here fits underneath it all, just to kind of, and it does, just barely, but it works. Okay, so there's, I think that's kind of the general layout. These look a little different. I'm going to have to change that, I think. Because I really want it kind of mirrored. I think it's this. I want this mirrored here. That's what it Let me just grab one of these over here. Make it look easier. Now, is that better? Yeah, I think that's more in line with what I was looking for. Okay, so the idea is this is the front door, and straight away this is the bedroom. This is where his bed will be. And these will be shelves. I'm gonna put some shelving here, and same way with here. And these will be closets. Closet here and a closet here. So it's just kind of, you know, like a large bedroom. And then on this end is going to be the bathroom. And this is going to be like the shower area, or the sink, and the toilet. And then here is going to be like a tub. And then on this end will be the kitchen. And, you know, I'll put in different appliances and stuff, but it's just like a little dinky one-person kind of place. You know, it's not going to have like a living room for guests and all that kind of thing. It's just for my character. It's not for anybody else. Why is this secluded landing is kind of where she goes to collect her thoughts. Now I'm also going to be including a porch area. I need to figure out where I'm going to do that. Start putting some pieces out here. And let's see, I need some more wood. Now I've been given thought about what kind of materials for like the house itself and like for the roof and things like that. And I think I'm just gonna go with probably the 2x4s. I know they're not exactly square, but they're cheap for one, and I think I can get away with the amount. It's just I'm not sure if it's going to be just a gargantuan amount that's going to be used up. It may come like maybe I don't know how many pieces. I'm just going to have to experiment and see, because I really want the size of the wood grain to be the same consistently all around. I don't want to like have a big wall of like large size panels and then have to make smaller bits and have like little teeny panels. I'm hoping to avoid that as best I can. So I'm gonna try this, and if it doesn't work out, if it ends up using up too much decor, then I'll just remove everything back down to the general plan, and then I'll pick something else. I'll go with it. But we're gonna see if we can get away with doing it like this. It's again one of the reasons why I wanted to go with a small plan and not go for like a full plot build, because I envision it's going to be like here's the house and probably just a path up to it, and everything else just kind of blocked off by either trees or rocks or walls or something, and you're not going to see all the rest of the stuff. It's just going to be just this general area here. Just the path and the house itself. So we'll see. That's kind of what I have in my head, but whether that goes to plan, I don't. Okay, so basically I should be able to copy paste all of these out and just line them up with the bits here. Like so. That's I know I want it to be like wide. And I'm not sure if the porch itself is going to be kind of different materials than the house itself. You know, maybe I'll use decking for this part rather than just the regular 2x4s. I'm not sure on that yet. I'm just going to outline it with the 2x4s for the time being. Oops. Let's see. Go ahead and line these up a little better as I go. Yes, I was thinking about the themes that we were talking about earlier, as far as you know, maybe me taking on a spooky theme at one point down the road. And I know that I do these tours every week on my stream. It might be good if I give some thought as to, you know, possibly doing some themed tours, like we got the summer coming up. Maybe find some ones that showcase like certain kind of summery themes, like parks and things like that. Making sure to show as many of those, and like when we get closer to Halloween, do a lot of the haunted ones. I don't know if we'll have enough to really justify dedicating one whole stream to that, but you know, it's something that crossed my mind. Cool thing to do. Like when it comes time to the winter months, you know, we'll showcase a lot of the snow-covered places there might be. I'm sure as those holidays run around, more and more people will be wanting to make those kind of builds. Okay, now I'm leaving this gap because that's where the entrance to the not going to have a door or anything. Access to the porch area. And probably stairs or something. Okay, so that's the basic diagram, outline, plan, blueprint, whatever you want to call it. So that'd be the kitchen, big bedroom with different thingies, and then the bathroom. And this will be the porch. Again, it's just a simple, basic, little bitty efficiency house kind of thing. Not meant for, you know, having a lot of company over or anything like that. Let's see. I may end up changing this part here a little bit. It feels a little off. Maybe because I didn't put one here and I have a funny door thing there, but we'll see what I decide to put in here. Not quite sure. And I know a lot of people usually start with the entrance, and I'm not quite sure if I want to go that route or not. I think I would prefer to focus on the house and then just build, like, work on the background and work towards the foreground, if that makes sense. Because to me, it's like working on a painting or a drawing or something. You're going to work with the stuff that you see at the back first and then build it up front. So you really won't get, like, at least what I'm envisioning, you won't get the effect until the last piece goes in up at the front. So it'll look kind of barren out here and kind of out in the middle of nothing for a long time until I get it sorted like I want. But that is the general idea of how I want it shaped and the basic layout that I have in my head. Again, I'm still undecided on how I want to incorporate this, but for the time being, I'm just going to ignore it for now. If I did incorporate it, I have absolutely no idea what I would put in it, so that's probably going to mean that I'm just going to ignore it this time and just concentrate on what's above ground and not have a below ground going on. But we'll see. You know, I say one thing and then I end up doing something else entirely, so it's not, it's never set in stone. But that's, I think I'm leaning towards that. But whatever I do decide, I'm going to have to be firm about it before I get too involved on building the house, because if I decide I'm going to use it in any way, then I'm definitely going to have to incorporate that into, like, how I'm going to access it. Because in my head, this being the bedroom, the bed would go right here, right on top of it. So either I would have to build the bed in a way where it would be like you could still see it under there. You know, it wouldn't be flush with the flooring. It would be up a bit. But I also kind of envisioned this house being on stilts. So if I do that, then again, I don't want to get too far into building the house, because whatever I build, I want to be able to easily move it up, to lift it. And that usually involves linking everything. But linking kind of comes with its own amount of risk. Maybe sometimes things resize itself or whatever. No matter what orientation that you might be using, usually you can get out of it by just choosing to move something as an object, but if you do it in relation to the world, sometimes it can kind of go. But sometimes it doesn't matter what you pick, it's still going to mess up. So again, I don't want to invest too much time, and I will probably leave the pattern here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the floor first, and then probably link it up and then lift it to the height that I think I want it. And then I'm going to have to be sure about that height, because if I'm not sure and later I change my mind and it's too high or not high enough, then I'm going to have like a world of pain trying to get everything to move nicely together. So I think that's going to be it for today. We just basically did a little rough layout of my future alt's home turnip. She's been homeless for a while now, so I guess it's high time she's got a little shack of her own. And I figured it would be a nice little side project to work on. just to try something different. Never been good with landscaping, so it'll be a new experience for what I have in my head on trying to get that to work properly. So we'll see. But for that, I think that's a good start. You know, for other people, maybe it's too small. But like I said, it's just meant to be just a little cozy home for her. And again, I'm going to try and keep it to where I only build while on the stream. So I'm not going to be doing any kind of... it's not like the next time you see this, it'll already have a floor installed. I may play around with materials on the side, but I won't actually install anything until the stream goes on. And of course, I'll be collecting decor for this, or building and crafting or whatever, so that I'm prepared to build for a good amount of time. But I think we'll stop here and just kind of give it a little break, and I'll come back to it. And if I don't like the way something's lined up, then I'll change it, and then we'll start building it up from the bottom up, and hopefully it turns into something a little nice. But I thank you for joining me, and I wish you luck on your moon base, Samson, and hopefully you get to share some screenshots or something of it, because at least for people like me that don't have access to NA. But until then, I wish you all a good day, and I'll be back tomorrow sometime. Just remember, if you want to catch me live, the best way to do that is to follow my channel. Then you'll be notified as to when I go online again. But if you don't want to do that, then at least drop by on the Wednesdays. Wednesdays is always 1 p.m. CET time. And that's when we do tours of public homes on both factions. This week will be Exiles, and then we'll go back to the Dominion next week. But I usually try and get, you know, at least 3 or 4 really nice homes that I think people will enjoy visiting, and just walk it through with me. And just, you know, if you're interested in housing, that's a great time to come, even if you don't want to sit here with me listening to me jabber on about junk. But but yeah, I'll drop by, Samson. I keep thinking you're on NA, but I get people confused. I have so many people whisper me and messaging me and mailing me that I get confused as to whose is what. But yeah, I'll come by and have a look. Anyway, until then, wish everybody a good day, and see you next time. Till later, happy housing. Bye-bye.